NFL football Thursday night. The Jacksonville Jaguars hosting the Indianapolis Colts. Earlier this year, the Colts fell victim to the Jaguars. Jaguars got their only victory of the year. Colts are a 3-point favorite. The total's 42.5. VR is going to give us his play on this one.
Yeah, my play's on the over. And when you look at this game, first of all, it's a Thursday night game. And we all been hearing all season long is these games tend to go under because of the short preparation time for the offenses. And we all know defense is ahead of offense. With that said, I think this number is telling us a story, and that's that it's been brought down more than it should. And even with the public going under, the odds makers, by making this game higher than the first time around, are telling us what the right side is. Sometimes you got to read the market, and you got to trust. Although you trust your own numbers, you trust your own handicapping, you got to check your ego at the door at times and realize there's some real smart people out there that do this for a living and have to back their opinions with cash. And in this game, they're backing it as far as saying this game's going over. When you look at the series last year, 36.5 and 37.5. That's what the totals were. Both games went under. The first time these two met this year, the total 41.5, and it went under 39 total points. Now all of a sudden, we're getting a total that's a bit higher on a Thursday night game. And again, I'm not a contrarian by nature because I'm not getting 11-10 like a bookmaker does. So I can't fade the public and get rich like they can. But with that said, you look at Indy's last 3 games, they all went under. You look at Jacksonville, their last 5 games, they only scored 15 or more than 15 one time. But they allowed 24 or more all 5 times. Mm-hmm. I think we're going to see some points scored here. We know the Indy offense could get it done. They average almost 400 yards per game, and Jacksonville allows almost that much. But I think it's going to be the Jacksonville offense, which only has been putting up 255 per game, that's going to get it done offensively. This is a big game for Jacksonville.
Definitely, no question.
This is their Super Bowl.
Sure.
It's their chance to be on national TV and not get embarrassed. I love the over in this spot. Parlay that with Jacksonville. You're going to see Jacksonville in a high-scoring game.
Chuck Edel, your thoughts?
You know, when you look at the game, the public always looks at the offenses. They seem to forget that both these defenses really are not good. Jacksonville giving up over 27 points a game. Indianapolis's defense. Indianapolis is not winning games because their defenses. They're winning games because Andrew Luck and the offense has really started to click. Yeah. Now they're going to be able to go up against a weaker Jacksonville, defense here. Also, Jacksonville, they've won 6 games in the last 27 games. They've only won 6 games. A third of those games were against Indianapolis. They do play well against the Colts. We saw as they beat them already once this year. I think they also, Maurice Jones-Drew, huge injury, no question about it. But now they've had a couple games under their belt that I think their offense now a little bit back in sync. They really depended on him maybe too much. But I think now I have a feeling you might, with the over, I think you might see Gabbert. I think they're going to open up things a little bit here.
The reason I didn't, Chris, give the Jacksonville as my play for this video is because I fear this is a big game for Indy, too. Yeah. Although they've won 3 straight games by a total of 13 points, which means they were some tough games, and you may be in for a letdown against a Jacksonville team, but it's on national TV, and it's a chance to showcase yourself. Yeah. And that's the only reason I think there's more value in the over than the side.
And as good as Indy's been playing, I think what's flown under the radar is just how bad their defense has been.
I agree.
That has been Andrew Luck that's saving them. Okay, we've talked about it. Let's go ahead and make it official.
Thursday night NFL primetime, Indy at Jacksonville. Going to go over the total of 42.5. I think you'll get a better number once the public starts betting, which will come tomorrow later in the afternoon. This line should go down, and you should get some value. 41's a key number, so hopefully it gets that low. I like the over. I think we're going to see some points scored. The line's telling us, based on the adjustments made from last season's games and this year's game, that odds makers expect some points to be scored. I don't disagree.
I don't disagree. That's me.
And I'm surprised. Indy now, a young team, all of a sudden a different team. Now all of a sudden they're favored on the road.
Yeah, that's why I like Jacksonville.
Right.
Come on, who are you to be favored on the road?
After
really?
a big emotional game.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, coming up next, we're going to hear from Chuck Edel. He's going to talk about the Pitt-UConn game. That's going to be a Friday night game. We'll hear from Chuck, and just a reminder, you can see all our videos at pregame.tv.